Charlie Munger once said, "The first $100,000 is a bitch, but you gotta do it." And the truth is, he was absolutely right. The first $100,000 is the hardest, the slowest, and the most mentally draining part of the entire wealth-building journey. If you've reached it, you've already done something that most people will never accomplish. But here's the part nobody tells you. Hitting $100,000 is not the finish line, it's the starting point. Because $100,000 is the moment when your money finally becomes heavy enough to start compounding in a meaningful way. It's when small percentages start turning into big results. It's when your financial decisions suddenly matter more. And it's when you need to shift your mindset from, "How do I save?" to, "How do I grow this intelligently, safely, and aggressively?" So in this video, you're going to learn the 7 specific things you should do the moment you reach $100,000 in savings or investments. Not vague ideas, actual steps. Steps that will determine whether your next $100,000 takes 5 years, 3 years, or 1 year. Because whether you like it or not, what you do with your first $100,000 will make or break your path to $1 million. First, celebrate, but stay humble. This might sound counterintuitive in a financial video, but hear me out. Money is emotional. Discipline is emotional. And reaching $100,000 after years of grinding, budgeting, compromising, skipping nights out, investing consistently, this is a milestone worth acknowledging. Only about 28% of Americans ever reach $100,000 in savings or investments. If you're outside the US, the number is even lower in many regions. So yes, take a moment. Celebrate with a nice dinner. Take your partner or your friends out. Spend $200 to $300 guilt-free. Because this celebration isn't about splurging, it's about reinforcing the identity of someone who sets goals and actually achieves them. But you also need to stay humble. Because that $100,000, it's not spending money. It's not finally I can upgrade my life. No. It's the capital. It's your tool. It's your engine. It doesn't free you to spend. It frees you to build. If you treat it like a trophy, you'll lose it. If you treat it like a foundation, you'll multiply it. So enjoy the moment, but don't loosen your discipline. Most people hit $100,000 and then immediately ruin the momentum by celebrating too big or rewarding themselves with upgrades. New phone, new car, new apartment. You don't need any of that. You need progress. You need consistency. You need to maintain the same mentality that got you here. The dinner is enough. The milestone is emotional validation. The money itself stays untouched. Once you've celebrated, the second thing you need to do is rebalance your portfolio. Up until $100,000, almost anything works. You could be 100% in VOO. You could be 100% in Bitcoin. You could be buying random ETFs, or even making beginner mistakes. Because early on, your contributions matter more than your returns. But at $100,000, the math flips. Your portfolio return becomes more important than your monthly deposit. That means diversification becomes crucial. A smart structure at this level might look something like 60% in VOO, which is $60,000 allocated to large US companies. This gives you long-term stability and exposure to the biggest names in the world: Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google. Then 25% in SCHD, around $25,000, which gives you high-quality dividend-paying companies. This smooths your returns and starts generating passive income. Then 10% in VXUS, about $10,000, because international diversification helps hedge against US concentration risk. And finally, 5% in individual stocks or high-conviction plays, $5,000 for companies you've researched and genuinely believe in. Not hype, not pump and dumps. Real companies with strong earnings and long-term potential. At $100,000, rebalancing means protecting your downside while still keeping aggressive exposure to growth. If you stay 100% in one fund, one sector, or one asset type, you're gambling. Diversification isn't about maximizing return. It's about making sure nothing destroys your progress. And if you're thinking, "But I like my current allocation," remember, emotional attachment is the enemy of wealth. Rebalance. Get organized. Build a portfolio that's designed for the next $900,000, not the first $100,000. After rebalancing, it's time for step 3. Maximize your tax-advantaged accounts. Taxes are one of the biggest killers of wealth. And the earlier you optimize for taxes, the more money you keep long-term. Think of your portfolio split like this: $50,000 in a Roth IRA, $40,000 in a 401k, and $10,000 in a taxable brokerage. Why prioritize these? Because a Roth IRA grows completely tax-free. That means if your $50,000 becomes $500,000, you keep every dollar. No capital gains tax, no income tax, nothing. It's free money. A 401k gives you tax deductions today, lowering your taxable income. If your employer matches your contributions, that's literally a 100% return instantly. And then the taxable brokerage is for flexibility. You use it for investments you might need to touch earlier or for strategies that don't fit inside retirement accounts. Maximizing tax-advantaged accounts could easily save you over $150,000 over your lifetime. That's not an exaggeration, it's math. Taxes compound just like returns. So the more taxes you avoid now, the more your money snowballs later. If you've never optimized this before, your $100,000 moment is the time to start. Now let's talk about step 4, building passive income streams. At $100,000, passive income finally becomes meaningful. With a 3% yield, $100,000 generates about $3,000 a year, $250 per month. But if you structure it smartly, you can actually increase that. For example, you could build a diversified income mix like 20% in JEPI for high yield. This gives you around an 8% yield. So $20,000 in JEPI gives you about $1,600 per year. Then 30% in SCHD or dividend aristocrats like O or J&J. These give you around 3.5%. That's roughly $1,050 per year. And the remaining 50% in VOO gives you around 1.5% yield, which is about $750 per year. Combined, that's roughly $3,400 per year, or $283 per month. This won't replace your job, but it will change your psychology. The moment your money starts paying you, even a small amount, everything becomes real. You think differently. You invest differently. You protect your portfolio differently. The key is, don't reinvest passive income into lifestyle upgrades. Reinvest it back into your portfolio until it becomes large enough to matter. The people who build real wealth don't spend their passive income in the beginning, they multiply it. Step 5 is all about protecting your wealth. At $100,000, you're finally at a point where you have something worth protecting. That means reviewing your insurance policies, health insurance, renter's insurance, disability insurance, if your job depends on your ability to work. You need to update your beneficiaries so your money goes to the right people if something happens to you. You need to maintain an emergency fund, at least $10,000 to $20,000 in cash, not invested, not touched, ready for anything. And you need to lock down your digital security. Turn on two-factor authentication on all financial accounts. Use a password manager. And if you have dependents or significant assets, consider a basic estate plan. Not because you're rich, but because planning early prevents chaos later. Wealth isn't just about making money, it's about making sure you keep it. Step 6. Avoid lifestyle inflation. This is the silent killer of wealth. Most people hit $100,000 and instantly start upgrading their life. New apartment, new car, new vacations, new wardrobe. But every upgrade increases your baseline expenses, which makes it harder to save and invest. A $20,000 car upgrade today doesn't just cost you $20,000. If you invested that money instead at an average 9% return, it becomes $52,000 in the future. Every lifestyle decision has a compounding cost. The trick is simple. Keep your life exactly the same for as long as possible while your investments grow behind the scenes. If you avoid lifestyle creep between $100,000 and $500,000, you will reach $1 million faster than you ever imagined. Wealth is built by quietly living below your means while your portfolio compounds loudly in the background. Step 7. Set your next milestone. $100,000 is great, but without a next goal, your discipline collapses. Your next goal should be $250,000. Why? Because it's achievable within 5 to 7 years if you invest around $1,500 per month. And once you hit $250,000, reaching $500,000 takes only 5 to 6 years. Then, $500,000 to $1 million? about 6 to 7 years with the same contributions. The higher your net worth goes, the faster the next milestone arrives because compounding accelerates. Your job is to stay consistent long enough for compound interest to take over. Before we wrap up, let's zoom out and look at the compound effect of your first $100,000. If you leave that $100,000 invested and it earns a 10% annual return, here's what happens. After 5 years, it becomes $161,000. After 10 years, it becomes $259,000. After 15 years, it becomes $418,000. After 25 years, it becomes over $1,080,000. Your first $100,000 becomes $1 million, even if you never add another penny. That's the magic of compounding. That's why Charlie Munger emphasized the first $100,000 so much. It's not because $100,000 makes you rich. It's because $100,000 is the moment compounding becomes unstoppable. Let's go even deeper, because reaching $100,000 doesn't just change your bank account, it changes your identity. And if you're not careful, the world around you will try to pull you back to your old habits. When people around you notice you've become financially responsible, they'll react in different ways. Some will be inspired, some will feel threatened, some will suddenly ask for advice. Others will try to get you to spend more so they feel better about their own lifestyle. But the truth is this: your financial journey is yours alone. And the moment you hit $100,000, you step into a different category of people. People who no longer think like consumers, but like builders. And builders move differently. This is why the next phase of your journey requires one more crucial shift. You have to upgrade your environment. Not your house, not your car. Your environment. The people you listen to, the content you consume, the habits you surround yourself with. Because your mindset will determine whether your $100,000 becomes $200,000 or whether you stay stuck at the same level for the next decade. If you keep spending time with people who normalize debt, who always complain about money, who constantly chase the next impulse purchase, your financial habits will slowly drift backward. Not instantly, slowly. Comfortably, silently. And one day, you'll look at your portfolio and realize you haven't made progress in years. Protect your environment like you protect your investments. The people around you don't need to be rich. They just need to be disciplined, optimistic, forward-thinking, and aligned with growth. Another thing most people never talk about after reaching $100,000 is emotional detachment. When you're new to investing, every market dip feels personal. Every correction triggers fear. Every red day feels like a setback. But at $100,000, volatility becomes part of your weekly reality. You'll see your portfolio drop $3,000 in a day, sometimes $5,000, sometimes more. And if you're not emotionally prepared, it will feel like the sky is falling. This is where emotional maturity matters. You need to understand that the market doesn't care about your feelings. Volatility is the price you pay for growth. And the moment you can watch your portfolio fluctuate by thousands, without panicking, without selling, without changing your strategy, that's the moment you're ready for the next level of wealth. Because millionaires don't get there by avoiding volatility. They get there by staying calm while everyone else panics. And speaking of the next level, you need to start thinking long-term in a deeper way. Up until $100,000, your horizon might have been 3 to 5 years. But real wealth requires 10-year thinking, 20-year thinking. When you look at your portfolio, you shouldn't be asking, what will this be worth next year? You should be asking, what will this be worth when I'm 40, when I'm 50, when I'm ready to stop working? Because the difference between someone who stops at $200,000 and someone who reaches $2 million isn't intelligence or luck. It's time. Time is your silent partner. Time is the amplifier. Time is the multiplier. But time only works if you stay consistent. And consistency only works when you zoom out. You have to detach from short-term noise so you can execute long-term strategy. Another thing you need to start doing after hitting $100,000 is building optionality into your life. Optionality means having choices, the ability to say no, the freedom to walk away. Money buys freedom long before it buys things. So ask yourself, if something happened tomorrow, Your job changes, the economy shifts, your interests shift. Do you have options? Does your savings give you breathing room? Does your portfolio give you flexibility? Because $100,000 is the first time in your life where money starts giving you leverage. Not against people, against circumstances. You can negotiate harder. You can change careers. You can take a risk. You can invest in yourself. You can protect your future. Most people treat money like a decoration. You need to treat it like a shield and a sword. This is also the moment where you should start tracking your progress more seriously. Not obsessively, not daily, but meaningfully. Create a simple system to track your net worth every month. Look at your investments, your liabilities, your savings rate, your debt if you have any. Because what gets measured gets improved. And when you start tracking your progress, you'll notice something amazing. Even when life feels chaotic, your net worth will quietly increase behind the scenes. And that's one of the most addicting feelings in personal finance. The steady upward curve created by consistency. But remember, consistency doesn't mean perfection. You will have months where you save a lot and months where you save nothing. That is normal. The goal is direction, not perfection. As long as the trend is upward, you're winning. And finally, once you reach $100,000, you need to redefine what success looks like. Not in the eyes of society, not in the eyes of your friends, in your own eyes. Do you want financial independence? Do you want a comfortable life? Do you want freedom to work on what you love? Do you want to retire early? Your financial plan needs meaning behind it. Money without purpose becomes wasted potential. Money with purpose becomes a roadmap, a strategy, a mission. Your mission might be helping your family, building generational wealth, buying your first home, traveling the world, or simply living stress-free. Whatever it is, anchor your financial decisions to that mission. Because the more personal your goals are, the more motivated you'll be to stay consistent.